Are you new to the painting process? Check out these 5 tips that I give all my beginner students with ideas and ways to kind of move along the painting process with a little bit more ease. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to my studio. This is Paint with Lovejoy. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 tips that I give all my students. And these tips are going to be really good for those of you that are first-time painters or beginner painters in those early stages of discovering your creativity. But they're also tips that are really good for those of you that have been painting for a while. They're just kind of little reminders so you can kind of get out of your way while you are being creative. So first tip that I'm going to go over is something that I tell all my classes at the beginning of class. And it's a really kind of simple tip that there truly is no right or wrong way to paint. Whatever you end up creating during this time frame while you're at home or taking another class, that is perfectly acceptable. Just the fact that you are actually creating and going through the process, that's half the battle. Most people actually talk themselves out of doing something creative, so they never actually show up and go through the process. So you're actually going through the process. So be kind to yourself as you are starting to paint. There is no right or wrong way to paint, especially when you're beginning the creative process. I want you to explore different areas and be comfortable enough to kind of maybe paint something. Maybe you don't like it and you end up throwing it away later, but then you paint it again, and the stuff that you might not have liked in the first one, you figured out how to work through some of those issues in the second painting. So again, there's no right or wrong way to paint, just paint. So the second tip that I tell all my students is trust your instincts. Your instincts are naturally going to be guiding you along the correct path, especially while you are doing something creative. Your instincts are your intuition is your little guide kind of pushing you, going, hey, try this, do this over here, try it. Because you never know until you try. And during my classes, most of the time when people ask questions, they are prompted by their instincts because they are naturally leading them in the correct direction. So again, I encourage you to trust your instincts as you're painting. If you feel like adding an extra color or maybe using more paint or trying a different brush or even finger painting, which is actually quite a bit of fun, trust that. Give it a try. If you end up painting something and you don't like it, you are using acrylic paint. You just let it dry and then paint on top of it again. Acrylic paint is a really good medium to trust your instincts and experiment with a few things. So little disclaimer there, please be safe with anything that you are trusting your instincts with. Do no harm to yourself, to others, or the environment. Otherwise, please trust your instincts as you are evolving with your creative process. So third tip that I give all my students is a bit more of a logical tip, and it's take progress pictures of your painting. We all have our cell phones with the camera capabilities on it now, so when you get started, take a picture of your blank canvas or the blank paper. After you do a little bit on your background, take another picture. After you paint a little bit more, take another picture. You'll see in my videos that I keep reminding you to take your progress pictures. And it's really more for the fact that tomorrow when you look through your phone and you literally flip through the pictures, and in 30 seconds you're going to see how much you transform that white surface to your final painting. And the next day you look at it in 30 seconds compared to the 2-3 hours, a week, a year that it took to actually paint that. It's very humbling and satisfying to look through those pictures and just see how much you transform that white canvas to your final piece. Another thing is take those pictures and keep them. Put them on a storage device or on the cloud or somewhere, so that way in a year from now, you can go back and look at those pictures from your first paintings and see how far you have come. That is a very, very satisfying feeling. So please take your progress pictures. You will be so happy that you did that and that you get to look back on the progress of your creative development. So take your progress pictures. All right, so fourth tip that I give all my students is step away from your painting. While you're painting, and you may get into a groove to where you're painting for an hour and a half straight, and you know your canvas or your surface is right here, and you're literally 6 inches in front of your canvas, maybe 2 feet in front of your canvas, but you're in a really close place while you're painting. You have to keep in mind that artwork is generally meant to be viewed from about 10 to 20 feet away. It's meant to be viewed from a distance. And stuff that you see up close, about 2 feet in front of you, looks entirely different as you step away from it and view it from the distance. Kind of the joke that I give all my classes at that point is everything in life, people, places, artwork, things, cities, everything looks better from a distance. So while you're painting, take those breaks every now and then and step out of your chair, walk to the edge of the room and view your painting from that distance. And that's a bit more of the appropriate vantage point that you'll be when you're looking at the painting. And like I said, generally we tend to like our paintings when they are further away. Something that kind of ties into tip number 3. When you take that picture with your cell phone, and the way that our phones are designed and you're looking at it on the screen, when you look at your painting on your phone screen, it's the same thing as looking at your painting from 20 feet away without getting out of your chair. So again, with those progress pictures on your cell phone, it's a good way to kind of take a look at it and gauge your progress from that vantage point of that distance, even though it's on your phone. So experiment with that while you are painting. Take those progress pictures, study it on your phone, and then again, get out of your chair, step away, and look at your painting from that distance. It is amazing how much better it feels when you start implementing those things into your creative process. It kind of keeps you humble as you're moving along with stuff that may be a little uncomfortable for you. All right, so the 5th tip that I give all my students is actually the most important one, and also one of the simplest tips that I can give you. But it's amazing how many of us that are just starting the process, and even those of us that have been painting for a long time, how we tend to do this when we're nervous about something. So my last tip is make sure you breathe. You're gonna find that as you kind of get into the beginning parts of your painting, you're actually gonna be holding your breath without realizing it. So I'm not gonna actually be there to tap you on the shoulder or make the joke during class, go, make sure you're breathing. So what I'm gonna encourage that you do at home is set your alarm or set a timer for maybe 10 to 12 minutes and make a mental note that when that timer goes off, check in with yourself and go, am I breathing or am I not breathing? And whether you are or aren't, just at that moment, take a deep breath and relax. Then set your alarm for another 14 or 16 minutes or something, just to check in with yourself to make sure you're breathing. Because I know it sounds really simple, but when we get nervous, we tend to hold our breath, and that makes our muscles a lot tighter, and it doesn't help with the process. And then before you realize it, you may be actually out of breath, or you're just even more nervous and more tense than when you started. So again, the most important tip that I can give you, breathe. And this applies to just about anything in life. When you're doing something brand new, we tend to hold our breath, so make sure you breathe. All right, so those were the 5 tips that I give all my classes. There is no right or wrong way to paint. Take your progress pictures, trust your instincts, step away from your canvas for perspective, and most importantly, breathe. Painting is a creative and relaxing process, so make sure that you enjoy it. All right, so question of the day. Which tip did you find most challenging? And what did you do to remind yourself as you were going through the process? Leave those in the comments below so that way we can all kind of learn and see what you do at home and see if it's something that we want to implement in our own process or in our own practice. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. I'm still building and creating all kinds of videos, so let me know what you want me to produce in the future. I do read and look at those comments, and you will help decide the direction of where this channel is going to be going and the stuff that I create for you. So make sure you let me know in the comments. I think that kind of takes care of most of it, so I hope you enjoyed the 5 tips that I give everybody, and hope you have an easy way of implementing those into your creative process. So thanks for joining me today, and happy creating. Total plane. Nice. Okay, we're gonna do that one again. Studio, this is Paint with Lovejoy. Actually, we're not doing that. For 5 steps that I give all my beginner painters. 5 steps, 5 tips. Scratch that. Along with your career. Play.